Welcome back to the Lion's Den. Today we speak with Richard Walsh, who's the CEO of Sharpen the Spear Coaching. Richard's an awesome guy. I think of myself as a pretty badass guy, but Richard is the real deal. Marine, he's a boxer, he's a black belt. He's even been known to bend steel. So he's an awesome guy. He's taken a lot of his life lessons and applied them now to his coaching business, in which he helps entrepreneurs to sharpen their spear, increase their discipline, increase their focus, understand what they need to focus on in their business. And he's just got a really good framework for all that. And not only that, he's also a funny guy. So I think you're going to enjoy this one. Give it a listen.
Richard, welcome to the Lion's Den.
Nico, how are we doing? Excited to be here.
I'm doing great. I know we were just talking before this, and I was reading through some of the things that you've accomplished, like on your website and some different areas. I see U.S. Marine, champion boxer, black belt. You'll have to tell me what in. Internationally recognized steel sculptor. I mean, this is like a checklist of badassery. Yes. Which one of those was the most difficult?
Father of 6 children. I think that's the most difficult. You left that one out, but I think that was the most difficult. It doesn't seem to end. Okay. So
we just had our first kid. So he's 2 months old. And so that's all we know. And the first 2 months have not been very hard. But I imagine if you add 5 more to that and then years, it's going to get challenging.
It's coming, brother. It's coming. Brace for impact. That's all I can tell you.
How did you decide on 6? That seems excessive.
We didn't decide on 6. My wife still wanted triplets. So do you want the quick story?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how it worked. So here we are, married 5 years back, whenever, 20 years ago. 25th wedding anniversary coming up. Married 5 years, not having kids. Okay, that's kind of, let's go in the foster care program. Maybe we get a kid, a foster child that we can adopt, maybe, whatever. Okay, so do that, do the classes, do everything else. 6 months goes by after that, and I get this phone call from my wife. They're bringing a baby over. They're going to be here in 45 minutes. Can you come home? I'm like, okay. Zip home, ding, ding, the door rings, and they hand you a little basket with a baby in it and a little bag of clothes. They go, all right, see you later. And that was little D'Angelo, just born. He was a day old. He was a day old, literally a day old. And so we took him, that's really cool. So my wife goes, maybe we should try in vitro. So, okay, so we did in vitro, like right away, right? So, yes, 9 months later, we have a baby girl. Okay, yay. And then we bring her home, and the phone rings. Hey, the mom of D'Angelo just had another baby, had a baby boy, a couple months premature. We go, bring him over. We'll take him. So we took him. And then my wife says, well, let's do in vitro. So we did in vitro. Then we had twin boys, like right away.
My God.
Right? So we had twin boys. Yay. And then the phone rings again. Ring. Oh, guess what? Augustine and D'Angelo's mom had a baby girl. We're like, okay, bring her over. We'll take her. So we had 6 in like 3.5 years.
Oh my God. Wow.
So I don't want to hear about your 2-month-old. Okay.
Yes, sir. And so 3 of them are foster kids, but they're foster kids that are all part of the same family, which is super cool.
Same mother. Yeah, same mother. And then we adopted them. Okay, we had to go. That's a whole horrible process in itself. It's a nightmare. But we did it. It took about 3.5 years till it was all official, but it worked. And now my oldest is in the Marine Corps. So I have I had 19. He turns 20 like next week. But I have a 19, 2 18s, 2 17s, and a 16.
Oh my God. Are they all at like the same high school right now?
Yes, our living room. We homeschooled them all the way through. So
really? Wow.
Yeah. So, I'm going to keep one up on you, man. It's just not going to work. You're not going to get me anything. It just gets better. Yes, that's cool.
Yeah. So when you were homeschooling 6 kids, how did you have time to become a black belt in anything? What are you a black belt in?
Taekwondo, first degree in Taekwondo. That was before kids.
I see. Is that also boxing?
Boxing was also younger. Yes. I didn't get married till I was like 34. Okay. So I did that in my 20s, early 30s. And then, no, Taekwondo I was 34, 35, 36 when I got my black belt. Yeah, my first degree. And that was about 2.5 years of 5 days a week. I'm kind of an all or nothing guy. I'm not going to go work out. I'm kind of into it. If I'm going to get it, I'm going. I'm just going to get it. 6 days a week boxing, sparring 6 days a week, run in the morning, speed workouts, distance, work during the day, go to the gym, work 2 hours, spar every day, get the crap beat out of me, go to work again at night. And just, that was my life, and kept doing that. Won Golden Gloves championships and regionals and all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, I enjoy training. I like to train.
Wow. Nice. So do you still dabble in those things now, or are you training for something else, or what?
I hit the bag. 5 days a week I'm in the gym. So I'm a little older now. So I do 3 days a week hitting the bag. I do about 8 to 10 3-minute rounds, minute rest, a couple rounds of rope, core work after that. And I'm a little different. Okay. So when I work out, everything's an opponent. So I'm not hitting a heavy bag. I'm hitting an opponent. And every shot I throw is hard, Nico. And I throw a lot of them. I might be a heavyweight. I fought super heavyweight. I'm big, but I throw no less than 3 punches at a time, all the time. If I throw a jab, it's 3 jabs. Okay, and that's how I train. So it's a little aggressive. No one talks to me during the workout. Okay, let me just put it that way. I do that, and then the Tuesday and Thursday I do like 10 rounds of shadow boxing and footwork. So I go like it's like 350 punches in a round. I throw that and I move and I shift and I lather, just get soaked. So I love to train hard. I really love to push myself. So that's what I do.
So, and I'm you're not competing anymore, I'm guessing, right?
No,
so
I have plates, wires, new nose. This was 7 breaks detached from my face. Okay, whole cheekbone gone. I mean, just when you fight the big boys, things hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So no, I don't do that anymore.
Okay. And so, I mean, with all of the time that has passed since you were boxing, and you've had all this time to, learn a different exercise routine or something like that, but you've stuck with the boxing thing. I mean, is it just by far the best exercise routine?
Yes. No, I've done everything because I've known the gym. My 70s was the gym. I did boot camp style training. I had like a belt progression plan, but with bodyweight exercises, really cool. So I did everything. But boxing, nothing can equal it for me. I get to unload on something for like 30 minutes, like just as hard as possible. It's just the most joyful thing. I can't explain it, but I am so blessed to have the skill still, and I've kept them sharp. And as I say, I just trying to stay a little dangerous. That's all.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I do something a little different. I do like endurance training, basically. Really long runs. I mean, not really long. It's not like hours and hours, but hour and a half run, or like an hour and a half open water swim. And I actually have these like swim run shoes where I can run and then dive into the ocean and swim, and then get out and run and then swim again. Yeah, it's super cool. And yeah, I just love that. Like the peace that I feel once I get to like minute 40, and then you're just kind of like coasting and you're sort of in a meditative state. I've always found that's the best for me.
Yeah, I love the endurance stuff. I used to run a lot. I started in cross country, right? I'm a 6'180". I'm the biggest cross country runner known to the high school, right? So I got all these little geeks with me. And I had one coach that forced me to lose weight. He's like, you're too big. You're too big. So I went down to 157. So I'm like 6'2", 157 pounds. He goes, you're still the biggest guy. I go, yeah, if I lose another pound, I'm going to die. I'm eating like peanut butter and jelly sandwich and rice. That's what I'm eating. I'm running like 12 miles a day. And this is horrible. So I went up to like 170 pounds, went to state, competed at state, all that stuff in the 3 mile, So that was good. But I'd run 10, I run 12 miles. In the Marine Corps, every Thursday we had to run 15 miles. But I made a promise to myself, Nico, in high school. I said, I will never run a marathon. No interest in it. And I have kept that promise, my man. I have never done it. I can't break a promise to myself. So you're never going to see me run 20, whatever it is, 20 too many miles. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I actually have not either.
I have friends who do the 50s and the 100s and in the Appalachian Trail. And I love it. It's awesome. I am way past that. I mean, I'd rather hike up 14ers. Colorado, I've done like 28 of those. I love those kind of hikes, and stuff. And I'll do those kind of things to challenge myself. But man's got to know his limits.
I hear you. So when were you in the Marine Corps? Was this during the boxing sort of period?
No, that was after. So I went to 83 to 87 in the Marine Corps when I was 17 when I went in. And then, I started boxing when I got out. I was managing a big college bar in Tucson, and we had our head doorman. His name was Dave. Well, his real name was Crazy Dave. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he was a boxer. I'm like, well, I want to box. He goes, come on down to the gym. And, first day, let me get in the ring with him. This would be great. Dave's only like 6'4", 240, 10% body fat, plays with 350 on the bench, like it's a toy. And we're going to spar. I'm going to get in and spar with Crazy Dave the first day. So I get in there and I'm throwing Nico, and I can't lay a glove on him. It's hilarious, right? I'm just like, what in the world? He's just slipping and moving it. And then he just head left, right, looks and pop, hits me with this jab, breaks my nose. Just straight square up, blood everywhere. I'm like, well, I'm okay. So I'm chasing him again, still can't land a shot on him. He gives me the look again, pop with a left hook. Nico, my mouthpiece out of my mouth, out of the ring and across the gym. Okay. Some little kid ran up and gave it back to me. Okay. With like hair on it and everything, And I'm like, I'm good. Just give me that. And we go back. Then we get done with the second round. That's enough, right? I come back. I want to blow my nose. I get two big black eyes. The guy's putting a towel on my face. Go to work. The general manager's freaking out. What happened to you? I go, well, I was sparring with Dave. You can't do that. I go, oh, I'm going back tomorrow. I'm going to get good at this. That's the kind of person you're dealing with here. Okay.
I love it. All right. So you were boxing after being in the Marines, and then, and you said you were like all in on boxing. So does that mean you did not have a job outside of boxing?
No, I had 3 jobs and boxing.
Okay.
So it was 4 a.m. rise, slip on the shoes, run 8 miles or do speed workouts in the morning, come change, go to work all day, landscaping, do that all day, 2:30, 3 o'clock, go to the gym, 2 hours of training, sparring, bag work, the whole thing, do all that, come home, shower, go be a doorman at a bar till 1 a.m. Then go home, sleep a couple hours and do that, rinse and repeat. That's it. And I worked the bar about three nights a week. Yeah, weekends, stuff like that. But sometimes 4. But it was kind of a brutal. I was living on like 3-4 hours of sleep a night. And doing
is that like a fairly normal like post Marine Corps type of lifestyle or what?
I don't know. I don't think I'm like anybody. I'm kind of, I don't think anyone's that dumb, even a Marine. I don't think we're that, I'm like the dumbest of all Marines, to do things like that. So I don't know. I don't, there's not many people that can hang with that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah.
So then you started, well, let's go back. The last item was steel sculptor. So at some point you became a steel sculptor and then you started a business around that, right?
No.
Okay.
So I'm working, I'm swinging a pickaxe, digging trench, right? That's like my job at the time. And I got a side gig. A guy hired me to move like 35 tons of granite, like crushed granite from the street to the backyard. I use that instead of grass in Arizona. So I said, okay, I'll do that. So I got a wheelbarrow and a shovel, and I did that. And on Saturday, knocked that out in about 10 hours. And the dude gave me like $1,000. And at that time, we're working for like $5 an hour. Okay. So like, man, I did this yesterday for $50. This dude gave me $1,000. I'm like, I know my future. I am working for myself. Okay. Yeah. So that started the big entrepreneurial journey. Started a landscape company, started doing custom water features. That became my niche. Scaled that. Then I decided, hey, I want to learn how to weld. I want to make things. I want to be a sculptor or whatever. So I did that, taught myself, started making this really cool stuff, selling it. Got to sell everything I made, incorporated it with my water features as well. Then I got these commissions from like the John G. Shedd Aquarium and then world-class exhibits for conservatories. And I'm doing this unbelievable stuff. And I'm just some goof who taught himself how to weld, So it's really cool. So that all stuff was amazing. I'm doing all this stuff and it was super cool. So that's where that kind of came in the middle there of building the water feature business.
Were your customers like creating the designs for you and you were just welding, or you were designing stuff and coming up with crazy stuff? Yeah.
So here's the deal. It's a good story. So this woman, she had a boutique on Armitage Avenue, downtown Chicago, in the Loop. And it's called Studio 910 or something. She's not around anymore, but she wanted this special sign, like looked like a tree. I did all these trees and it cantilevered over the sidewalk, held the logo, and it would move. Like, 'cause I do things that are like kinetic and stuff. So I go, okay. So she commissioned me, paid me, and then she goes, but I want to come see it when you're halfway done. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really into that. I'm not really into people come and look at my stuff, you know. And she goes, well, I have to come, you know. I paid her. I go, okay. And so she's calling to see. So I had a 14-inch Schedule 40 steel pipe, 14-inch diameter, and it's about 4 feet long. And I welded a 21-foot piece of 1-inch solid round bar. I had bent a little bit, and I welded it to the side of it. And I left it in the dirt at my construction yard and told her it's ready for viewing. Okay. She came out. So I get this voicemail, right? Back in voicemail time. She's like, I am so disappointed. I mean, I want to come see this thing. You got a piece of metal. Like, and she rails for like 2 minutes on the voicemail, right? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I get it done like a week later, like the whole thing's, and it took all day on a Sunday. Everything's closed. And I got a crane. I'm putting the whole thing in, took out the old sign. Monday morning, here's the next voicemail. You're the master. This is unbelievable. I've never seen anything so beautiful. I go, can I play the other message for you? The one where I'm so disappointed, you know. So I'm like, yeah, you don't look underneath the cover of the painting, right? While it's in progress, you don't do that. Just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it. When it's done, it's done. Okay, I can't draw. I can't do any of that. The Shed Aquarium commissions me, Nico, right, for this huge exhibit they're going to do. It's going to be on Michigan Avenue in front of the Tribune. Been for 6 months. They're raising money for the Amazon Rising project, and I'm like, okay. And they've seen my work. The head designer, he loves it. He said, well, you need to submit a drawing. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't draw. I'm not a drawer. He goes, it doesn't matter. Just do something. I'm like, okay. I'm like, me and the 3-year-old will work on this because I'm going to need consultation, you know? So I draw this thing that I'm going to make. It's called High River, and it's this huge tree with a 20-foot anaconda on it going after a 2-toed sloth and all this stuff, you know? Like, sounds cool, right? Try to draw that, right? So I draw this thing like with a crayon, you know, and I submit it. I give it to and like, I get the commission. I make this thing, and it's the coolest thing ever. They sell it to Beaufort, North Carolina, and yay. And then I run into him, I don't know, a few months later, a year later, whatever it was. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, your drawing, when I had to present it to the whole committee. They had this big committee that you saw this stuff for the Shed Aquarium. Everybody's passing around laughing. It's like, you're kidding. You're going to pay this guy? Like, because the drawing was, I'm telling you, it's like a 4-year-old did it. And he goes, you just got to see his work. You got to trust me. And so there. So that's why I never did drawings for people. I'm like, people want to draw, and I go, I can't. The rocks tell me what to do. Okay.
No, I think I understand what you're saying, actually, because if I think about like a painting, right, a great artwork, a painting or something like that, it's coat upon coat upon coat upon coat. There is, if somebody were to say pause when you're halfway done, I think you're right. The painter doesn't know when they're halfway done. They just keep going until it looks right.
Yeah,
that's how
it's
it
finished. I go till it's finished. That's why if they say, okay, we'll give this commission, and I ask, when do you want it done? Oh, whenever. I go, oh, I'm sorry, that time doesn't work for me. Because whenever, think of the last few letters, never. Okay, never. That's when it's going to get done. Okay, I only work with deadlines. If you tell me you need it tomorrow, guess what? It'll be done. Okay. Yeah. If you need it in 2 weeks, you need it on this day, give me a date, or you're going to be really sad, because I'm never even going to think about it. Okay. I only work under pressure. It's the only way I can function.
I like it. What, do you still do any sculpting? Any metal work? No. Okay. You're done with that. That one's out. Boxing's still in, but metal work is out.
Yes. And pond building, water feature building is out too. They've been out for 15 years. Sold everything. Haven't touched it since. I'm an all or nothing guy, Nico. Okay, so you know, I don't dabble, I don't toe dip, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm obsessed, or I have two speeds, high and off. Okay, that's all I got. I got nothing in between. So it's just where it's at.
So I like it. All right. So you mentioned, if you tell me it's due tomorrow, I'll get it done. So that reminds me of when I was on your website reading around, and I saw something along the lines of time compression is the secret to massive impact with your business. Right. So what do you mean by that? What is time compression?
So time compression basically is taking someone's experience, years of experience, and sharing that with those who don't have the experience. So what I do, like, say you want to start a business. Okay. All right. What do you want to do? And I will compress the time, probably make you not want to start a business, but I will compress the time like and tell you what, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You know what happens if you do that? This happens. And you know what happens? You're bankrupt. Okay. And so that's time compression. Yeah. Do this, don't do that. Don't do that, do this. And I can take all that experience because I had great success and great failure. I got to do it all. So I will save you from causing mistakes, bad decisions, and quite possibly complete business failure. That's time compression. That's utilizing others' wisdom and experience.
Okay. I see. I would imagine there are other ways to compress time as well. I mean, just being able to like prioritize efficiently would be a way to compress time. I think a lot of people kind of waste time bouncing between things, having everything as the top priority. Do you work with your clients on that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple examples. One is a to-do list. Okay, a to-do list, worthless. There's no time attached to it. It's just a list of things. You get to pick. You don't say, do payroll by 10:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. You're not assigning anything to it. They just make a list. So it's a bunch of, whatever I feel like doing. So they're kind of ineffective. Also, I think from that aspect, it's really about leveraging yourself. Time compression comes from leverage, not yet prioritizing is important. Don't get me wrong, but it's really leveraging, meaning who can do my list. It ain't me. I'm going to hire out. I'll give you a really funny example. It just happened 2 days ago. Got a new website coming up, landing page, all this stuff, building it all, just to show that no matter how long you do this, everything gets screwed up. Okay. So I'm doing this thing today, just a couple hours ago, I'm doing this lunch and learn. I'm going to roll this thing out. We're launching this thing. And so I'm like trying to attach an email in Google Workspace. And I'm trying to do it myself because I think I've done it before. And I'm in there and it's totally screwed up now. Can't find it, lost, won't do, denied, won't send emails, or it'll send them but won't receive. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And I'm like, hours of doing this, right? Finally, I go, wait, okay, listen to your coach self. Fiverr.com, Gmail Workspace. Oh, look, $28. They'll do it in an hour. Send. I'm like, hire this stuff. You're an idiot. Okay, so the guy gets, okay, boom, boom, done. Fixed it.
Yeah.
An hour, $20. I'm worth more than $20 an hour, especially 2.5 hours, right? So these are things these are time compression things. I leverage, I use them. I use Upwork. I get a virtual assistant. I designate people. I delegate properly. That's all time compression, because time compression, what you're really trying to do, in my viewpoint and what I teach, is create margin in your life. Give yourself time. Money's replenishable, man. We can always make more money, make a ton of money. You can't do anything with time. You miss your kid's soccer game, first goal, that whole thing, and you're not there because you didn't pay $20 for someone to fix the email. Okay, that's pretty sad. Okay, that's a really poor use of time, and you'll never get that back, right? So we want margin. I want time in my life.
I like that. Yeah, when it comes to prioritization of things, there's something, I was reading about the other day called the Eisenhower box. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. Dwight Eisenhower created it, but basically it's like a matrix, 2x2 matrix with urgency on one axis and importance or impact on the other axis. And so it's basically like, if it's a high urgency, high impact activity, do that. That's your priority. If it's a low urgency, high impact activity, schedule it out, get it on the calendar in the future. Don't do it right now, but make sure it's on the calendar. And then if it's high urgency, but low importance, that's when you go on Fiverr and you start delegating that out, because anybody could do it, right? It's like low impact stuff.
Right.
And then if it's low urgency, low impact, delete it off your list. It's just, don't even care about it anymore. And so that's kind of a good way for people to just take their to-do list and first at least quadrant it out, know what they can delete, know what they can delegate, know what they need to focus on. But then you're right. From there, I think they have to actually understand who and by when is going to get each of these things done. And usually some sort of like a calendar, Gantt chart timeline kind of thing is the way to view it. Much better than a to-do list. I'm with you.
Right. Yeah. So and same thing. Everything should get broke down, especially the larger tasks, 30, 60, 90-day goals. That's it.
Yeah.
Trying to do anything past that, it's foolish.
Yeah.
Way too many variables, time. It's just 30, 60, 90. If they can't get it done in 90, you need more people working towards the goal. That's all there is. Naturally there's the exceptions when there's delays and other people have things, or there's literally time that has to pass to be able to complete something. For the most part, you really have to work in those kind of deadlines. And from a owner employee standpoint, you have to reward them for those goals. It's not part of their basic job. The problem is people, I'm paying them $60,000 a year. Well, now achieve these 3 goals. Do this, and you're still going to get paid the same. Yeah, that doesn't go over really well. You got to incentivize them, man. They're making your life better by doing this. What's that worth to you? If you're going to have them systemize their role, because it's not systemized yet, but you're going to give them resources, how to do it. Here's a time frame, 30, 60, 90 days. If you get stuck, you talk to this person. You need these resources. Go to these to build this out. Get it done. I want to see it when it's done. And you think they're going to do that for their normal wage? Okay, forget it. They're not. They didn't get hired for that. But you say, hey, and that's worth $3,500 in 90 days. I'm going to give you $3,500 for that. You're going to get this dinner. You're going to go here. I'm going to give you all that. Oh, they knock it out to get that, because what did that actually do for you as an owner? You just systemized their whole job thing. So if they quit tomorrow, leave tomorrow, go on maternity leave, take a vacation, you can slide someone right in. They're up to speed in 5 to 7 days. And you don't miss a beat, right? That's worth a lot of money to me, because eventually you're going to sell that system as part of your business to another owner. And because your business is systemized, it's going to have high value. Because if everyone quit the day that he took over, he'd be okay. He could hire people to be back up to speed because everything's systemized, right? So that's how we got to think.
I like combining those two things, the employee incentives with the systemization of things. Like the incentives is how you get the systemization. That makes a lot of sense.
Right. That challenge, Nico, there is a challenge to that. So here's how it works. I'll tell you real quick. So I go to an owner and say, do you want your business systemized? Wouldn't it be awesome? And they all 100% say yes. I say, okay, let's get to work, you and I. They're like, yeah, that's not happening. I don't have the bandwidth. I'm already wearing 9 hats. I'm not going to systemize my business. So what do you do for the solution? Okay, I'll handle it. I go to the team. I work with them. And we build that out. We build just what we just said. Build it out, send them. Go to the next one. Build it, send them. Next thing you know, poof, that's all done. Owner just goes, I like it. That's good. Great. All right, here we go. And we keep going that way, right? So I can still serve them, but get it done much quicker. Because I had the strategy for it, right? I had the plan. I had the resource. I got everything. So that's the caveat. Owners are owners. They're visionaries. We want them working on their 5%. The 5% of the business only they can do. That's where they need to focus, and the rest can be done, delegated, automated, that kind of stuff.
So is that kind of what you focus on then with your coaching engagements?
Yeah, it is pretty much, because most of them are stuck at some point or another, right? So they're doing $1 million to $3 million, say $1 million to $10 million is kind of my sweet spot. Excuse me. And they get to that point where they can't do anymore because they've wore so many hats. They work really hard for the first couple of years, but then 10 years has gone by and they've repeated the first 2 years 5 times. So they're stuck. They're making a little more money, but they have no freedom. They're serving the business. The business doesn't serve them. So we come in and say, well, here's how you fix that, is through systemization. Let's get the business to run itself. I'll show you how. We're going to automate, delegate, eliminate, take that, build all this stuff out. So now you can get to that 5%. And that's where we create freedom, profit, and impact. Because if you systemize, you're going to increase your profit in a big way. And we don't even talk about money. It's not a focus. Like, it just happens. You can't help but get more profitable. So we look at the freedom part is one of the number one things. So they can actually go on vacation with their family for 2 weeks and not call the office every day, every 2 days, and make sure it didn't burn down, Right. So they can go and be present with their kids and their family and have an actually good time, come back. And then you've got the profit, like I talked about. You're going to make more money, and systemize enables you to see more ways to make money, bring on new streams of income because things are organized, right? And then the impact is the big one, right? You can make an impact, whatever that is, giving, serving, whatever that looks like. You can make great impact, making your people better people, not just more competent in their jobs, make them be better people so they can take that home with them, have them working for a purpose. They're happier. That affects their family, who then goes into the community. That affects that. So if I help 10,000 business owners create freedom, profit, and impact, they take all that home. That's millions of people I can help, right? I can change. That's a shift, right? That's big. So
I like it. Yeah. And I saw on your website, there was, I think the phrase, the movement to help 10,000 business owners create freedom, profit, and impact in their business. So you're shooting for 10,000 of these.
yes, and not in 10 years.
Okay.
I like 5 years. Anything past 5 years never happens. So we're doing a 5-year goal. We're going. So remember, I'm all or nothing.
That's right.
It's just another
That's
heavy bag. That's all it is.
Yep. I also saw you had something called the 5 F's: faith, family, finances, fitness, and friendships to focus on in life. But I think you need another F. There's nothing in there about like being a badass and doing crazy stuff,
Right.
which is clearly part of your history.
But most people can't. No, I'm just kidding. I got to keep the expectations realistic,
Yeah.
No,
Five
you
is
can
enough.
work that in. That's the fitness part, right? That's the fitness.
That's
part.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. Fitness is close. Yeah.
Faith, family, finances, fitness, friendships. Okay. Now here's the thing. Isn't that really cool? Like if you put that, like that's really, if I focus on those, that's work-life balance. All them people that come up and tell you need work-life balance because you work too much. Then they walk away and never tell you how because they have no idea. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They really can't help you. They're just some snarky dude who thinks he's got a catchy cliche. So I don't like those people. I don't like them. If you can't tell me how, don't tell me at all. Okay. Don't tell me something to do that you can't or don't have a clue. So what I tell people, like those are awesome. And I want you to be able to focus on these. But if your business is broken, it's a hot mess, it's chaotic, none of those 5 F's can be addressed virtually, right? Not in a balanced way. Fix the business, get it running, get it humming, be able to go on vacation, have the mind space, have the margin that we talked about earlier, have margin life to go work on those. Faith, to me, faith is an all day thing. It's how I live, right? It's a big part of my life. Family, huge, right? I have 6 kids. I have a wife. Now inside the family is me and my wife. We're first, right? So you got God. For me, God's first. My wife and I are next. My kids are after that. So when one of my sons runs up and starts yapping, and my wife and I are in the middle of a conversation, it's no, hold on now. Let us finish our conversation, and then we'll talk to you. Okay, I'm not going to raise a bunch of little tyrants. Okay, that think they're not first. Okay, and a lot of us make that mistake, and you can't. They have to. It's hard, but you got to do it, right? So that's that. Finances, critical, right? Number 1 cause of divorce. Finances. You're not paying attention to your money like many other things that you don't pay attention to, it goes away, right? Your friends will go away. Your spouse will go away. Your money will go away. Your business will go away if you don't pay attention to it, right? So very importantly, focus on finances. And then fitness, and you might agree with me on this. If you're not fit, you're not fit to lead. Okay? It's one of those sayings that I kind of like. And it doesn't mean you have to be Arnold. Okay, I'm just saying, like, it has to be a priority in your day. Like, when do you take care of yourself? Physically, nutritionally, right? What do? Do you get that hour in the morning? End of the day, I don't care when you do it. What do you, at one point, Nico, I was getting 3 meals from a window. Okay, I got 1 pound away from being a 300-pound land tuna. Okay, wow. And that's when I went, man, this is too much. Like I have let this business and everything control my life, and I am embarrassing. Okay, and I stopped doing that, got back into the way I should be, and started that whole journey again. So now I have another story. Woo. So
what was your biggest food weakness? The cheesy gordita crunch wrap at Taco Bell?
No, dude, pizzas. And here's how I justify it, Nico. You might be able to appreciate this. Listen. The entire Roman army lived on it. Bread, sauce, and cheese. And they ruled the world. So why can't I? Why can't
I love that justification.
Pizza all the time. You got to go there. You just have to, we can all make something worthwhile, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were probably eating like 2 slices of pizza and walking like 35 miles a day.
Don't give me that. Now, I don't want to hear any of that part. It's the straight calories that mattered. It's not the 100-mile march, up the Swiss Alps. I don't care about that part. I just wanted pizza.
Oh yeah, pizza is amazing. Okay. I'm with you on all that. Yeah. If you're not fit, you're not fit to lead. I totally agree. If I go a week without working out, which I'd never do, because of the negative effects, but when I go a week without it, my mental state is just not where it needs to be to knock out all the activities I need to knock out during the course of a day, meet with my clients and be prepared and energetic and all of those things. Like, it all starts to fall apart about a week in. I don't know how anybody can run a business if they're not fit.
It's true. And when I won't mention any names, when I go into a business to coach them, that's one of the things I look at. Where are you at? You want to know part of the reason why this isn't working? Look at your plate. Look at your plate. Okay. Seriously. It's like, it's important. Like, even if they have a good business, I go, you're still hurting your business.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. It's running well and everything else, but you're not it. You're not being the leader you're supposed to be. If there's two people on stage, one guy's a 400-pound land tuna, the other guy's a ripped Navy SEAL or whatever, and they say, follow me, where do you think the longer line's going to be? Unless it's lunchtime. Maybe they're going to go with the 400 pound. I don't know, but I'm just saying from a leadership standpoint, they're going to follow that guy. So
yeah,
could be to their death. I don't know. Could be to their death. They could follow him. I don't know, but I'm just saying, it could be an idiot.
Clearly you are not afraid to tell the brutal truth and have the tough discussions with your clients. So that's awesome. I think that's necessary. There's a lot of consultants and coaches out there who just kind of want to do whatever their client tells them to do. And, my team, and I'm sure you're the same way, we make it a real point to make it very clear to them, like, we're not here to do what you tell us to do. We're here to give you our honest recommendation. And if you like it, great. If you don't, that's great too. But we got to be honest.
Yeah, I got to be honest, and you got to do the work. I'm high accountability. I'm a results coach. When you boil it down, man, it's about getting things done. If we're physically training, I'm not your friend. I'm going to push you to places you haven't been. Let's just call it that.
Yeah. Right.
And you'll thank me for it later. It's like I tell my kids when I tell them things, they get all mad. You'll thank me later. You'll be 30 with a couple of kids, but you'll thank me. You'll go, Dad I can't. That's right. That's wisdom.
Yeah. Love it. Cool. Well, I want to wrap things up here. Is there anything else? I mean, there's a lot of things we didn't touch on, I'm sure, but is there anything else you definitely want to chat about before we wrap up?
No, I think this was like really cool because I like just whatever. This is this,
chatting. Yeah.
It's just awesome. That's all. I don't know, man. We could do this for like 2 more hours and I'd still be funny.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think I learned more about you than I would have if I had just been asking a lot of questions about your business, because from your background, from your exercise, all that stuff, I know that you are a results-oriented, highly disciplined, and energetic person who is no excuses. You create the roadmap and you execute. And honestly, a lot of former Marines that I know and who I've worked with have been the same kind of way, where it's like, we know exactly what plan A, B, C, and last resort plan D is, and we're just going to go from one to the next. I think that's awesome. So to me, you're clearly would be a really valuable coach. And I think the name of your company makes a lot of sense. Sharpen the Spear. That's what you're going to help. That's what you're going to help businesses do. It makes total sense. So I learned a lot about it.
We are honing entrepreneurial warriors on the battlefield of business.
Yeah.
Sharpen the Spear. See, that all works. That's good.
It does. It does.
You better be in alpha mode when you come to me. That's all I'm saying. We got things to do.
Boom. All right. Well, we will link to your website in the notes, which is sharpenthespearcoaching.com. And anybody who's listening, especially entrepreneurs out there who need a little help sharpening the spear, or need somebody in your corner, getting you going, making sure you're, knocking things off one by one, but also focusing on the things outside of business that matter: family, faith, friendships. Highly recommend you guys reach out to Richard and, go visit his website and book a consultation. That would be a great way to do it.
Let's do it. Let's give them a gift. Can
Okay.
I give your listeners a gift?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I wrote Escape the Owner Prison, right? Best-selling book. It's really awesome. you should get it. But if you don't want to get it and you like audiobooks, go to sharpenthespearcoaching.com, go to the contact page and send me a 1-sentence email. Say, Richard, heard you on Nico's show. Love a free copy of your audio version. And poof, you'll have it in your inbox. How about that?
I love that gift, especially because there is a very small hurdle that will weed out everyone else who won't listen to what you say and send you a 1-sentence note.
Yes. And just remember, you get to listen to me for 2.5 more hours if you get it. So you got that bonus. You got that bonus.
Awesome. Well, Richard, thank you, man. This has been great. Appreciate you joining me in the Lion's Den.
This is a blast. Thanks so much, Nico.